Hi everybody, welcome to my new podcast called the Sawyer Viola Show, Episode 1. I'm joined today by one of my favorite guests, my provider, Millie. Now Millie, tell us a little bit about your job and I guess for the viewers, tell them, what it's like to be a provider.
Sure. So my job title is Direct Support Professional, or DSP for short. And what that means is that I support people with intellectual disabilities to live their best lives and live as independently as possible. So that can look like anything from grocery shopping to household chores to making a budget to going out in the community and hanging out with friends.
Nice. So when you first started, was this your live stream to be a provider?
Well, I have been working with people that need providers since I was really young, since a neighborhood kid with autism needed a babysitter, and I was a babysitter, and I thought, well, how hard can it be? And then I kind of stumbled into it, but it is my life's dream to do work that helps people that need help, so I find it really rewarding.
Obviously, you have a lot of experience in this field, being a provider and then obviously a PSW, and then obviously being a caregiver. I guess being a provider, did the caregiving part, I guess, did it help you in a sense gain the skills? And is there any, I guess, um, I guess is there any, I don't know, but is there any, like, like classes you have to take to be certified college-wise or high school, whatever?
Right. No, that's a great question. And the short answer is no. There are for DSPs, and you mentioned PSW, which is personal support worker, and that's a pretty similar job. But I have never been a PSW. But for DSPs, we do have to take 12 hours of training per year for ongoing education about issues related to the disability community. And we also have to keep current CPR and first aid certification. But other than that, you don't really need any formal special training. But I will say that it takes a special kind of person, like someone that's patient and likes working with other people.
So was it easy being a provider, I guess, during the pandemic? Did it change how services were done or anything?
Yeah. And as you all at home can tell, I'm still wearing a mask, and it's March 2022. But so that definitely changed things. Sometimes DSPs will take groups of people out together. That's called DSA. And a lot of people like that if they feel like being social, hanging out with their friends. That went away during the pandemic. It's back now. Um, we had to be just really careful of not spreading because a lot of clients and providers work with other providers and clients. So we're kind of a close knit network. So we did have to be really careful about putting ourselves at risk, but then also thinking about putting our clients at risk based on our actions outside of work.
And obviously, thank you so much for what you do, obviously, because
Thank you.
obviously we need a lot more providers help, I guess. But what would be, I guess, and it's okay if I answer not, but what would be, I guess, what do you think needs to get done moving forward if, like, those people on here want to help raise awareness or get bills passed? What needs to get done focus-wise? And not just, what we can focus on the state, but it's around us. What for disabilities help? What needs to get done?
Yeah, so one thing I hear a lot about lately is the caregiver crisis. And I'm not really well versed or super knowledgeable about policies regarding caregivers, but some people are really concerned that caregivers don't either get paid enough money or don't get enough benefits or all of the above to stick in the industry, and that the pay and benefits aren't competitive enough to attract new people into the field to become support workers. So there's a lot more people that need help than there are people that can help, because some people are looking for other work that maybe pays better. So that's one thing that I know some people are advocating, and I could suggest some guests for future episodes that know more about it. But I know that that is one big issue for some people is how do we keep good caregivers and how do we attract good caregivers so that there's enough help for people that need help.
Because obviously, right, like you've said to your point, essentially, like, does not, there's more, like, you guys are kind of doing this out of goodness for your heart, essentially. And, like, there's not a lot of money to go around, and so it's just like, and
Sure.
so it's like you guys are kind of, if, guess, kind of follow up question, I guess, but you guys are kind of, like, doing this goodness for your heart, and kind of like, well, okay, how do we match for okay, we still obviously have a life, we have to live, obviously we have to pay the bills essentially, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time we want to do this, kind of like that balancing act, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I know when I came into this industry most recently, I was making a lot more money doing something else, but I didn't find it the other work fulfilling. And I just wanted to get back into helping people after some years away and was willing to take a pay cut because I just feel like when I go home at the end of the day, I feel like I really made a difference. So for me, I can afford to make that balance, but I don't have children. I don't have to pay a mortgage, so I don't have a lot of responsibilities. And I feel like my employer pays as fairly as they can, and I feel respected by my employer. I feel very lucky to be one of the few people that can say that I love my job and I really don't have any complaints. But I can understand how this field might be people that might want to work in the field might not be able to just because they don't make enough money, if they've got kids to feed or something like that.
So it says next thanks for sharing, it's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very powerful. So
Thank
next
you.
question, I guess, so I guess for you, um obviously you work for a good company that lets you pick the clients you want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, I've been very lucky to work with you. Obviously,
Yeah, likewise.
a lot of respect, honestly, towards what you do. I
Thank you
think
so
you're a great provider, and I'm not just saying that like, I mean that
much.
well respect. Amazing cleaner, and I could
Thank
go on and
you.
on, but for
Thank
the sake of
you.
time. But so I guess next question would just be I guess if there was anything that you would say to a new provider community skills they would need, or I guess any tips or anything if somebody watching this wants to become a caregiver or provider or
Mm-hmm.
job, what would you tell them?
Well, I guess it depends. For example, if they were going to work for the company that I work for, I would give them different advice than if they were working, for example, before I started working with you. I was a caregiver technically, but I was what's called a home care worker. So I was actually paid by the Multnomah County Department of, I think it was Human Services, and I worked for a woman with physical disabilities. So that was a lot more physically challenging than, for example, working with you. You don't really need me to do any hands on things, you don't need help getting out of bed, where we're just kind of more running errands and things. So I think my advice would differ depending on what, what the particular challenges were of who that person would be working with. But if they were coming to work, like say in our community with this company that I don't know if I should name or not, so I just won't just in case. But I would say it's a lot of fun. You're going to have more fun than you realize. It's really just more like forming a friendship or gaining a member of your family than work. And I would definitely encourage someone, and I do encourage my friends whenever they complain about their jobs. I say, call my boss and apply. Like it's fun, it's rewarding, you're making a difference, the clients are great, and yeah, you'll be treated well by the company.
Obviously, as you know, this is a great industry. Personally, for me, I've been in it as a client my entire life, but and I was very lucky that after high school I got to go to CCS, a program for people with intellectual disabilities to get the diploma. But I guess one more thing for you, I guess just, and we can keep going, just for instance that this um abilities for you, I guess, because also you working out job, getting paid good money, obviously, and now you kind of all making good in the wood. Thank you very much for that. What's it been like, I guess, for you? Kind of like, do you like the clients that you work with?
I do. I really do. And I've even had clients in the past that I don't work with anymore, and I still like them, and we still keep in touch. Like every client that I've had as a DSP, I really liked.
So, can a provider and client, let's say, when I'm done working together, can they be friends? Just simply friends?
I think so. Yeah. I've met up for coffee with a client that I don't work with anymore. I was texting the other day with a former client. So, yeah, I think it's just, I kind of think of it as like a friendship, but we sort of, we just don't get to see each other as often. So just like my own personal friends that maybe live in another city, or I don't see, or we're busy with other stuff.
Yeah.
Like we could still meet up for coffee and
I guess,
do phone calls.
Are you trying to get more certifications in this industry? Are you trying to sort of work your way up?
So I'm currently in school to earn my Master of Social Work degree, and then I hope to, in a few years, to be a psychotherapist. So I still see that it's definitely a helping profession. It's like in the same family as being a support worker, but it's very different in a lot of ways. And I also hope to be self-employed, but it will be working one-on-one with people, but rather than helping them with the day-to-day tasks, I'll be more helping them figure out what's going on in their heads, and like tools they can use to think better about problems and to solve problems.
I guess one more question, this back on the college thing. Did you go to college? Did you go to college to become, I guess, a caregiver or a provider?
That's a good question. No. There's no college. Like even people in high school could be caregivers. It's really just more about you having the right personality and the right outlook, good sense of humor.
So how do you sign up if someone wanted to, I guess, to go back on that?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So to be like a DSP specifically, because like I said, there's also PSWs, personal support workers, and also home care workers, HCWs, and they all work for different types of agencies, but can do pretty similar things. But if you wanted to be a DSP, I would say you need to find out which agencies are in your area, and then call them up and see if they're hiring. I kind of stumbled into this job. I was at a mix and mingle with another client that was there, and it was an opportunity for clients that needed providers and providers that were looking for clients to go meet. And it was kind of a speed interviewing situation where we all got up and changed tables. So I met a client, we decided to work together, and they said, okay, I would like to work with you. And I said, I'd like to work with you. And then they said, okay, well, you need to get hired on by this agency that I've allotted my hours to. And if they hire you, then we can work together. So that's actually how I ended up in it. But if you don't know someone that needs support and that's not affiliated with an agency or a brokerage already, then you could just call those, the brokerage or the agency, and just ask about job openings or if they know clients that need help.
Really awesome, really, and congratulations on if you become a world-renowned therapist. Or not,
World-renowned,
congratulations, that
definitely.
works awesome. What's your dream to become a provider?
It kind of was when I first moved to Portland a few years ago. I definitely wanted to do something like this. So yeah, I applied a lot of places, and like I said, I was first a home care worker, but then that didn't work out. And then I met the client that needed a DSP, and then I jumped through all the hoops to be a DSP, and no looking back. I love it. It's great work.
Thank you so much for honestly what you do and everything, being a part of this. And we'll have a next episode coming soon. Thank you all for subscribing. Subscribe below if you see the subscribe button. I'll subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next week.
Hit that like button. Bye.
Bye bye.